Hello everyone. Before we begin painting these beautiful blue macaws, I invite you to pause for a moment. Today we are spending time with the color blue, a color often associated with calmness, stillness, trust, and emotional balance. If you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, restless, or mentally tired, this painting is for you. Let's take another slow breath before we start. This is the reference picture I'm using from Pinterest, and before working on the intricate details in the drawing, I am laying out the outline of the blue macaws. This is to make sure that we don't erase too much on our watercolor paper as it will damage the paper more. I'm laying out the outlines of the birds first and then coming to the tree branch. Slowly now I will lay down the intricate details starting from the head, the eyes, the beaks and the overall body. Now this is the completed picture, and this is the pigment I'm using: cobalt turquoise, Payne's grey, indigo, Tyler blue and ultramarine. I use size 4 brush. I also use size 0 and 3/0 for detailing. Let's start with underpainting. My favorite layer, and as I begin laying down the first washes of blue, notice how soft this color feels. I've completed the right macaw. I'm showing how we do that in the left macaw bird. Laying down phthalo blue, very light value. I'm not dropping water first on the paper, rather I'm directly coloring with blue. I keep the reference picture always near me, and slowly by observing where the lights and darks are, I'm dropping even more value of phthalo blue. The upper part of the bird demands more blue, and coming down to the neck, I here drop a little bit of indigo and also giving a very gentle light wash. Blue doesn't demand attention, it doesn't rush or push. In my view, I've always felt blue very calm, inviting us into the serene rhythm. It reminds us that peace is always available, even in the middle of a busy day. Continuing with the wash, I am stroking the color pigments in line how the feathers are laid down. And if certain areas, if it is dry, I am adding plain water over there in order to make the wash very gentle and smooth. And when we come to the feathers, wherever the blue demands more shadows and where the light is less, I'm directly adding indigo over there. So you will see me using Tyler blue and indigo in the underwash. The same colors are used for the right macaw as well. Somehow I wanted to paint the right macaw first and then do the left one. Coming back to the right one, I did the detailing first, and a fair warning that this painting did not have 3 or 4 layers. It had up to 6 to 7 layers. My watercolor paper supported me very well, and the macaws were really tempting to add more feathers. More on that a little bit later. Coming down to the feathers, adding more of indigo, and wherever there are deep shadows, I also added a little bit of Payne's grey. It allowed me to naturally have the darker value. The reason I picked blue for our color series is that I was feeling little anxious this week and I wanted to paint something blue. I was first tempted to paint some flowers, but then coming across this picture and I wanted to recreate, it was a bit of a challenge, and it took a week for me to finish this since I was engaged in other activities too. Once you are finishing the underpainting, you will notice naturally you are aligning the values light and dark according to the reference picture. So this is how it looks after you complete both the layers. As I already mentioned, I'm going to do the right macaw first and then come to the left one. At this stage, I'm not painting the feathers directly. Instead, I'm painting the shadows between the feathers. This technique is called negative painting. A lot of artists use this, and it is very, very effective to show the lighter subjects which are over the darker areas. I am carefully creating the darker spaces around them. As these shadows appear, the feathers begin to reveal themselves naturally. I check the reference picture and use either indigo or Payne's grey or phthalo blue accordingly to reveal different shades of the feathers. This specific bird did not have colors which are even. They had multiple shades of blue, which was another interesting thing to capture in this painting. While painting these, I got a little gift and I am happy to share with you. It was a very pretty small feather which had written free on it. I was very grateful to receive it because receiving something blue was a coincidence while I was painting these blue macaws. Now, this is the finished painting of the right side macaw. This is just one layer on top of our underwash. Painting these feathers can be deeply meditative and addictive too. Once the second layer has dried, I even more enhanced the values under the shadow pockets because it felt like the overlapping feathers can project even more if we give a little more vibrancy. This segment was deeply meditative for me. Let me know in the comment section what part of painting these blue macaws was meditative for you. Now, this is the finished work with the eyes and the beak of the right macaw. Now we are going to move on to do the same layering onto the left macaw. Macaws are among the most intelligent birds in the world. They are known for their strong memory and the ability to form deep bonds. That's why here I've picked these two macaws, and macaws are known to communicate constantly with one another. The calls can travel long distances through rainforest, helping them stay connected even when they cannot see each other. This is quite interesting, right? One of the reasons macaws are so fascinating is their vibrant blue feathers. Interestingly, the blue color is not created by the blue pigment. The structure of the feathers reflects light in a way that makes them appear blue. And there's some scientific fact behind them. I'm not sure what it is. But here we are connecting to the calmness what blue gives us and how it can give us the nature of bringing our energy to a neutral stable state. One of the reason I choose to paint these blue macaws is, as I said earlier, whenever life feels overwhelming, I find myself drawn to shades of blue. It often relates to the emotion of anxiety, high energy, or some sort of fear. And if I want to stop that emotion or overcome it, I choose blue. And these macaws felt perfect. There's one other thing also to compare as we draw the eye of the macaw. Macaws spend their lives seeing the world from a different perspective because they live very high. And sometimes when we feel stuck, what we need isn't a solution, we simply need a new perspective. And bringing that into awareness, let's take and learn that from these macaws and try and implement it in our own life, not stopping with painting these macaws or enjoying the blue version, taking the characteristics as well. I'm highlighting the beaks, the eyes again over with Payne's grey. It is a very natural form of a darkest blue, and rather than using black, we can go for Payne's grey. It's kind of an essential pigment when you come for birds. So if you're into painting birds, I recommend to get this pigment in your palette. And this is how the completed work looks, and giving more layering can even make it brighter. And this step is called glazing. Once you are making sure that the details of the painting are complete, make sure that the painting is fully dried and then you go to glazing. Glazing is applying one fresh wash on top of the layers which you have already gave with a vibrant color on your palette. Over here we have used phthalo blue, so I'm applying the same blue on the color areas where it is light, and the areas where shadows are, I'm using indigo. And I want to add something here. If you are a beginner, you can try and start with one macaw first. My suggestion is to get a good watercolor paper, because sometimes if you have the right tools, you essentially increase and speed up your learning. I use the same phthalo blue onto the feathers up until the top of the bird, and when it comes to the right side feathers of the left macaw, I'm using indigo. I'm also using a little bit of ultramarine in the shadows, observing the reference picture. And coming back to the right macaw, you will see that I'm also applying streaks of indigo, making sure that the lights are shown up. It's again now tempting to do the feathers, but then we are doing glazing. So I'm glazing out the feathers now, and also giving a touch of phthalo blue on the top of the head. And I'm also choosing to enhance the eyes and the beaks as well. Here you will see for finer details I'm using 3-aught brushes. And here you will see the background is not much, since our focus is the color blue and these beautiful vibrant macaws. I'm keeping a background wash very light here. And we are complete. As I look at these beautiful birds, I'm reminded that nature has so much to teach us. I've shared what I knew, and if you have more information about macaws or the color blue, please share as well. Let's learn together. If life has felt busy lately for you, let this painting be a gentle reminder that you don't have to rush. And if you're feeling heightened emotions, paint these two macaws so that you can stabilize. And if this painting has brought you a sense of calm, I'd love you to share, and also share what emotion the color blue brings up for you. Until next time, keep creating. Thank you.